was looking through the accounting information in the back, I noticed that one company, McLane, contributes a lot of revenue, a large portion of Berkshire's revenue, and to a lesser extent earnings, but I don't ever see much about it in the annual report. So I'm curious why we don't hear more about that company, and are there any investing lessons like we get from Seas and GEICO that you can share about that company?
Yeah, McLane, the reason you see their figures separately is because the SEC has certain requirements that are based on sales. And McLane is a company that has an extraordinary amount of sales in relation to intrinsic value or to net income. It basically is a distributor of well, it's a huge customer, for example, of the food companies, the candy companies, the cigarette companies that go up and down the line of anything that goes into convenience stores. But we bought it from Walmart, and Walmart is our biggest customer. I can't tell you the precise volume, but well, if you get Walmarts and Sam's together, you're getting up to 20% plus. But it's nationwide, but in the end, it operates on about 6% gross margins and 5% operating expenses. So it has a 1% pre-tax margin, and obviously a 1% pre-tax margin only works in terms of return on capital if you turn your equity extraordinarily fast. And that's what McLane does. Being a wholesaler, it's moving things in, moving things out very fast, very efficiently. And it does this. It also has a few liquor distribution subsidiaries that have wider margins. But the basic McLane business is, $45 billion plus, makes 1% pre-tax on sales. But the return on capital is very decent. But it sort of has an outsized appearance simply because of this huge volume of sales that go through it. Grady Rozier, who runs it, is exceptional. He was there when we bought it from Walmart, whatever it was, a dozen years ago. And I've been there once. We've got thousands and thousands of trucks, big distribution centers all over the country. It is a major factor in moving goods at wholesale. I mean, if you're Mars Candy or something of the sort, I mean, we'll be the biggest customer. But that pretty well describes the business. It's a business that earns good returns in relation to invested capital and in relation to our purchase price. But every tenth of a cent is important in the business. And moving your receivables exceptionally fast, and consequently you have payables moving big time. So the sales are 30 times receivables, or times receivables, 30 times payables. You've got and maybe 35 or so times inventory. I mean, this is a business that's moving a lot of goods, but in terms of it's an important subsidiary, but not as remotely as important as would be indicated by the sales. It's still very important, making the kind of money that shows up in the 10K. Charlie?
You said it all.
That was an interesting thing. Walmart wanted to sell it. They came to see us, and we made a deal. The CFO came. We talked for a while. He went into the other room, called the CEO, and came back and said, "You have a deal." And Walmart has told me subsequently that they never had a deal that closed as fast as the one with Berkshire. I mean, we said what we would pay. It was cash, and we got it done very promptly, and they were terrific on their side.
By the way, that reputation for being quick and simple and doing what we promised and so on has helped at Berkshire time after time.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made that deal without essentially having that reputation. But they knew.
Well, you bought the Northern Natural Gas Company in one weekend, and they wanted the money on Monday.
They needed the money on
Monday. Before the lawyers could complete the legal papers. We managed to do it.
Well, not only that, but I think it took some clearance in Washington, and essentially I think I wrote a letter and said that if they decided after looking at it they didn't want to clear it, we'd undo the deal. But these guys needed the money so bad, we were going to give them the money essentially based on the deal clearing. And there wasn't any reason why it wouldn't clear, but there was just a procedural problem. But most companies can't do that. I mean, we've got a flexibility that really in most large companies just plain doesn't exist. There's too many people have to sign off on it or something of the sort. So the Northern Natural deal would not have been made if we'd had to follow the normal timetable.
And it's a lovely business to own.
Yeah, absolutely.